Invincible has some crazy antagonists. We have soul-sucking Martian demons, a tyrannical leader of the Viltrum Empire, and a talking dinosaur genius. But what if I told you, left unchecked, there was a different character, more dangerous than anyone I just mentioned? Robot might be the most dangerous character in all of Invincible. Not because he lost everything, but because he got everything he wanted. To the point where even Mark couldn't even defeat a villain this smart. So before we get to that, we're gonna have to rewind all the way to the beginning. Hey guys, I'm DontDothatShi here, and today we're going to be talking about the tragedy of Robot. If you do like these videos, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and just like that, let's get right into this. Robot goes by many different identities. People call him Robot, some people call him Rex, and some people call him Rudy. I will never call that guy Rex. He will never replace my GOAT Rex. We go straight into learning about Robot's character, as he was born with a cerebral distribution. He was born with a cerebral mutation, which caused his body to become mutated and toxic to the air in the surrounding, forcing him to be stuck in a fluid-like substance, controlling metal orange-like drones to save and help the world like a true hero. Robot as a character strives to be a leader and do what he believes is good for the better sake of the human race. His drive for leadership devolves into different groups, begging Cecil and the likes of the GDA to make him be a leader of the Guardians of the Globe. And they gave him a mission, and his first mission he loses to a street tier villain. This first catastrophic loss taught Robot a lot of things about teamwork and different people, and he reflects that back onto the team. The team, consisting of Eve, Rex, and Duplicate, was formed into the Guardians of the Globe after their quick demise by Omni-Man, and forced them to team up with the likes of Monster Girl. We know Monster Girl's powers is her ability to turn into a green monster looking, basically the Hulk, if you really want to put that thing on that. But the one drawback behind that is she ages backwards every time she uses that ability. And this is when we initially start to see the connection between Robot and Monster Girl. And as their relationship develops and continues, we see for once, for the first time, Robot has something to lose. Someone as smart as Robot can find every solution except for Riz. With Riz aside, how did one of Invincible's greatest heroes become one of his greatest villains? We know about his real life body and the situation he is currently in, and his strive to want to be human, to the point of where he steals Rex's DNA for unethical reasons. We still haven't really talked about how weird that really was, and it makes us sympathize with Robot as a character, as his strive to slowly become a normal human. We see him work with the likes of the Mauler twins to transfer his body into this new 13-year-old body vessel. Still to this day, I feel like Rudy should be definitely put on a list for that. We don't even talk about that in the comics. They talk about it once and then it's just swept under the rug. And we see the initial start of Rudy's psyche of working with bad people to form a greater good outcome. We see Rudy use his new body to try and deepen the relationship more with Monster Girl, to try to relate with them both having the body of children, which isn't the best base to start your relationship on. I don't think that's the best option. You see, especially later on with Deflections, with their second invasion, Robot has issues with listening to higher forms of authority, due to him believing that he is the smartest character, so why should he have to conform to other people? He's been rejected by Cecil and the League and the likes of Brits multiple times when it comes to their orders, and decides to go against them. And for this key reason, we see Robot defy the likes of Cecil and Brit and get him and Monster Girl both stuck in Deflaxon dimension. We learn about Deflaxon's dimension as a place that time acts differently. We see when they enter our world, time accelerates quicker, so 4 months for them could be 4 days for us. And this is a perfect place to put Monster Girl in. She's able to age quicker and more mature into her body. And as Rex and Monster Girl are thrown into prison, Rex finds his way to push using sheer leadership and dominance. Being trapped in there for centuries, Rex becomes their ruler, showing through sheer intelligence and leadership, making the impossible decisions to further institute the Flaxen race. We see that especially in the one fatal flaw Rudy does possess is when he becomes a leader, he forgets the main point of being a leader. To be a leader, you need to have some sense of humanity and authority. A good mixture of the both creates what a leader is known for. Rudy lacks the humanity component, and that's what makes him such a harsh and brutal dictator, furthering along from becoming a leader. We see this when Monster Girl and Rudy both argue at each other after deeming the Flaxons as a second-class citizen and punishing them by giving them works in the mine. Rex sees as a challengement of his authority, and because he sees that, he asks Amanda to leave. And due to this argument, Rex kicks Monster Girl out completely and becomes arrested by the Flaxon government. And here slowly we can see Rudy's slow descent into villainy. Through Robot's character so far, we see the show and the comics highlights more and more of Rudy's calculated character. We see him gathering information of the Viltrumites and their main weaknesses, especially through sound. We've seen Rudy observe what happens to Invincible when the likes of sound waves are used against him, and we see him use that against both Invincible and the other Mark variant. We see him use it against both Mohawk Mark and Invincible in Mohawk Mark's dimension, and he uses that to kill Mohawk Mark. And because of those reasons, we see Robot slowly become more and more of an antagonist towards Invincible, while hindering Invincible with the same sound attacks Cecil used on him in the previous seasons. And we see Robot even expand his villainy more onto the pregnant Eve by ripping off her leg. Bear in mind, Eve is pregnant in this and can't even use her powers, but this is for the sole purpose of gathering Invincible. The main cast of Invincible is confused and shocked to why Rex is even doing this in the first place. And it is because of that, Rudy has now solidified himself as the main villain of the show. We see Rudy in his basement creating more and more advanced robots to counteract and surveil the world. We see Rex further this mentality of keeping the world a better place by getting rid of anything that could cause a threat. He kills most of the superheroes of the world, including the Guardians of the Globe and multiple different side heroes for the bettergoodment of the world. And through this twisted, sick ideology, he kills Donald and the likes of his own girlfriend, Monster Girl, after the event of finding out that she did cheat on him more than once. His takeover of the world for the bettergradement of it makes him create the self-ideology of he believes he is doing what is justified, to the point of where Robot became willing to sacrifice freedom for order, and this order is what causes him to start psychologically declining. Robot flies over to the moon to debate with the Viltrumites and argue with them for the sole purpose of getting back Monster Girl. Invincible facing such a threat of Robot is something that he's never fought before. It is not someone he has to brutally punch his way out of. Due to Robot having so many different mechs, he can't simply punch his way out of this fight. The intelligence of robots, so there's basically nothing Invincible can truly do. We see Rudy and Invincible have another standoff, and Rudy starts to actually make some sense. Even though we have seen him being portrayed as a villain, he is still making logical points towards Invincible, and how he's always thinking head first and not actually debating and fighting. Instead of debating, he is using his fists. And we can see Rudy trying to justify himself yet again and make himself feel like he is the good guy in this whole scenario, and that Mark is actually truly the actual villain in all of this. Being defeated, actually sees for a moment that maybe what Rudy was doing was correct. We see that maybe Mark was actually the villain in this conversation, as we see William talk about how the crime rate has basically gone down to 0 and universal healthcare has been given to everyone. Justice seems to be served for once, and we can see everyone else living their lives fine as normal. Invincible this time was wrong. Not only did he try to fight someone, he was wrong in fighting that person. We've seen Robot being able to command and conduct an entire race. The Flaxon dimension didn't make a robot evil, it taught him that control works. And we've seen him being able to adapt to that said control when Frag became the main villain of the show again and was interfering with his control with the Earth. Robot and Mark came to a temporary truce for a while to defeat the bigger threat. And that temporary truce was only there momentarily, as we see Robot leave the ship and fight back with the different mechs of robots to go against Invincible and the Viltrumites. We see Invincible team up with the Viltrumites and the Guardian of the Globes and all of the Fraxon children to defeat the likes of Robot, and this becomes a worldwide fight. And through quick thinking of months ago, they are able to detect the real wrecks inside the drone. Invincible flies them away to the atmosphere to talk with Robot. Robot gives Mark his monologue of peace and everything. And Robot realizes he has been defeated and gives Mark the chance to eliminate the threat. Mark eliminates Rudy, only physically. Mark decides to keep his brain and use it for technological advancements that could better help the world. We see at the beginning, Robot was a weak, isolated, kind character who wanted to help humanity. And as the show continued, we end off with Robot being a powerful, controlling, feared villain, an even more formidable foe than the likes of Frag. Robot spent his entire life trying to become human, but every step he took forward, the goal pushed him further away from it. The tragedy isn't Robot failed, it's that he succeeded. Well guys, that's the end of this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And just like that guys, DDS out.